Milo and the Midnight Threaders. In a small village cradled by rolling green hills, there lived a humble tailor named Milo. His shop was tiny, with a creaky wooden door and windows that often fogged in the cold mornings. Milo worked hard every day, sewing jackets, cloaks, and small dresses for the villagers. But business was slow. He never complained. Milo loved his work. He loved the feel of soft fabrics, the rhythm of his needle, and the quiet hum of the village street. Still, when he counted his coins at the end of the day, they barely covered his rent or the little food he needed. One particularly chilly night, Milo sat at his workbench, finishing a small blue coat for a little girl. His fingers ached, his back was stiff, and he sighed deeply. If only there were more hours in the day, or more hands, he muttered. He laid his head on the workbench and fell asleep, the moonlight spilling across the scattered fabrics. Suddenly, a soft tinkling sound woke him. Milo sat up and blinked. Before his very eyes, tiny glowing figures hovered above his workbench. They were no taller than a thimble, with eyes that sparkled like dew and hands that moved faster than the eye could follow. One stepped forward, carrying a spool of golden thread that shimmered like sunlight. Who are you?" Milo whispered, his heart pounding with wonder. "We are the Midnight Threaders," the tiny figure said in a voice like bells. "We mend, stitch, and weave while the world sleeps. Your work is kind. Your heart is honest. We wish to help." Milo gasped. "Help me? But why?" Another threader floated closer, a silver needle balanced on its finger. "We love to create, and we have been watching you. You care for every stitch, every hem, and every seam. That is rare, even among humans." That night, Milo watched in awe as the Midnight Threaders danced among his fabrics. Their hands moved like lightning, stitching seams perfectly, adding delicate embroidery, and turning simple jackets into works of art. By the time the first morning sun peeked through the windows, every unfinished piece in Milo's shop was perfectly completed, glowing faintly with magic. The villagers noticed immediately. They came rushing to Milo's shop, marveling at the beautiful coats, jackets, and cloaks. Soon, word spread far and wide. People from neighboring villages came to see Milo's work. The humble tailor finally had customers. And they didn't just buy his clothes, they treasured them. Yet, Milo never knew who or what had been making them. One night, Milo decided to stay awake. He waited patiently, hiding behind a pile of fabrics, and a third danced along the edge of a coat. As the clock struck midnight, the little glowing threaders appeared. One hummed a soft tune as it threaded a needle, leaving a trail of sparkling stitches. I want to thank you," Milo said softly. The threaders stopped and hovered together. "We love to create," one said, "but we also love kindness. If you wish to help us, you must promise something. Never stop sewing, and always give a little of what you make to those in need." "I promise," Milo whispered eagerly. From then on, Milo and the Midnight Threaders worked together every night. But the threaders were playful, too. Sometimes they would hide tiny spools of golden thread in Milo's pockets as a surprise, turn buttons into bouncing little balls that rolled across the shop, wrap Milo in a swirl of fabric ribbons just to make him laugh. And Milo, in turn, left little treats for them, scraps of cloth to tinker with, bits of thread to play games, and a warm mug of tea by the workbench. One snowy winter night, Milo's shop was filled with warm coats for the village children, but one coat had a small patch missing. "Oh no," Milo said. How will it be finished in time? The threaders giggled. One zipped over, carried the patch in its tiny hand, and whispered, "Sometimes, the smallest hand can finish the hardest task." Together, they completed the coat before dawn, and the little girl who wore it smiled so brightly, her cheeks glowed like lanterns. Years passed, and Milo's shop became famous not just for its beautiful clothes, but for the joy and love woven into every stitch. People whispered about the glowing helpers who came at night, but no one knew where they had come from or if they even existed. And Milo never forgot his promise. Every day, he gave a little of his work to those in need. Warm jackets for children, cloaks for the elderly, tiny shoes for wandering travelers. And every night, the midnight threaders returned, dancing, stitching, and filling the little shop with magic and laughter. Milo realized that the true magic was never just in the threaders' hands, it was in the kindness, creativity, and heart that everyone, no matter how small, could share. And so, the little tailor and his magical friends stitched not only clothes, but happiness, hope, and wonder into every corner of the village. The end.